It's Wednesday, July 28, 2021. Just got done with a good workout at the gym, had a nice lunch. Just came over here to the JW Marriott in Palm Desert, California, and just did about a 2-mile walk, get a little cardio in, and I'm about ready to jump in the pool. It's I think about 112 degrees out right now, but I wanted to make this video today, check in with everybody, and a few things I want to talk about. Number one, the Federal Reserve is lying. The Federal Reserve is being deceitful. We got another very, very dovish message from Fed Chairman Jerome Powell. They're going to keep rates at 0 to a quarter of a point. So we'll say 0. He said monetary policy will continue to support the economy. Well, you know what that means. That means that they're going to print as much money that they need to keep this economy on life support and to keep this stock market propped up. This stock market is a house of cards built on quicksand, and the Fed is continuing to hold it up, support it. It's the training wheels on the bicycle here. You take the training wheels off, you're going to see a massive crash very, very quickly. He said housing sector remains very, very strong, but we just got the new home sales down 24%. The housing market is beginning to cool, and it's going to continue to cool down as people continue to lose jobs, as people continue to get their wages cut, get their hours cut, and their standard of living is falling. This housing market is a bubble that is going to pop. Don't know when it's going to happen, but the air is beginning to let out of this bubble right now. He said inflation largely reflects this transitory inflation. Again, they believe it's temporary. I believe it isn't. Most of you believe it isn't. What is going to take the inflation away? More of this money printing? More of this monetary policy to prop up the economy and the stock market? He said household spending continues to rise at a rapid pace. Well, again, you can thank the government, you can thank the Fed for injecting all this money, all the stimulus checks, all the benefit checks, all the unemployment. You take that away, you take the government out of the equation here, and you slice this thing down just to the economy, without the help or the training wheels of the government or the Federal Reserve, and you're going to see a massive, massive depression in America. It's coming. It's not going to be avoided. They can't stop it. It is coming. But again, to say that household spending continues to rise at a rapid pace, like that's a good thing, the only reason it's rising at all is because of all these government subsidies, all of this artificial money, all this debt being injected into the economy to keep the economy on life support. You know, I can't tell you enough when I go out how many stores and restaurants are vacant. You see it, I see it, all of you down in the comments see it, you report on it daily. The amount of people that you know losing jobs, losing their businesses, losing their livelihoods, losing their futures. And we have a Fed here that continues to lie. Nobody, you know, the scary thing here is nobody is preparing the American people for what's coming. Nobody is telling the truth. And as long as they continue with these fantasies and these magic tricks and all these illusions and telling you that everything's going to be okay, they're going to do so much damage, and so many people are going to get hurt because of this false information they continue to spread. Jerome Powell also said this: business investment is rising. I don't know where that is. Maybe you can comment down below and show me where all the business investment is rising at. It's not here in America. Maybe business investment is rising in other countries like Asia, but I don't see a lot of business opening here in America. Again, rates to stay at 0 until we have maximum employment and we see 2% inflation. So he did admit that inflation is higher than they would like to see. But what's maximum employment? I thought we were at, 5.6 unemployment now here in America. Everything's picking up. It's doing great. So why not raise rates? He also said treasuries and MBS at $120 billion a month will remain. So mortgage-backed securities and treasuries, $120 billion a month. That's what they're spending. That's how much they're buying. And you know, and I know that that number is much, much higher than $120 billion a month. But again, You know, if you're listening to the television, you're listening to the analysts, the economists, the people in the $3,000 suits are telling you everything's okay, everything's great. Why are we not seeing interest rates rising? And why is the Fed buying everything? I can tell you this, and you may disagree, you may not like what I'm about to say, but we're going to see interest rates going up. This inflation is going to get out of control. They're out of tricks. There's nothing they can do except print more and more money, create more debt, and that's going to cause more inflation. So get ready to see rates go up. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen today, not even going to say that's going to happen this year, but I would say there's a 90% chance that you're going to see interest rates go up in 2022, not 2023. It's going to be 2022. And this is going to cause very, very big problems here in America. This is when you're going to see a full-blown depression take place in America. This is when you're going to see gold prices and silver prices go through the roof. This is when you're going to see real assets and commodities skyrocket. And this is when you're going to see people losing their homes. You're going to see people losing businesses. You're going to see a lot of pain and suffering when these rates go up. Your cost of living is going to go through the roof. Rates are going up. You want to borrow money? You think your credit card rates are high now? Wait till you see what is coming. But again, there's nothing left that they can do. The same old song and dance, print more money, buy up everything on the stock market, buy mortgage-backed securities, buy more treasury bonds, just buy. It's not working. They're going to have to buy more. The Fed balance sheet, all right, is over $8 trillion. It's going to 9, it's going to 10. How much farther can it go? Until they say, hey, it's not working, we're going to have to raise rates. And then the party is over. Wait till you see what is going to happen to the stock market when rates go up, ladies and gentlemen. You know, these people who just laugh at all this stuff, think everything is a joke, just think that cryptocurrencies are going to save them. Their little 401's going to save them. Their little money market's going to save them. These people are going to get obliterated. The people that are going to win here are the people that have assets, that have some cash put away, who have their bills paid off, okay? The people with patience, the people who are awake and know what's coming, these people are going to capitalize on what's coming. The 1%, well, look, they're going to get bailed out no matter what. Win, lose, or draw, they get bailed out. And they're going to come in and buy up everything all over again like they did in 2008. Question is, what are you going to do? Are you going to be selling and losing everything? Or are you going to be sitting back and buying as much as you can and creating massive wealth? I was reading an article earlier today by Michael Snyder. Let's compare the U.S. economy before the crisis to the U.S. economy today. So going back about a year and a half ago, that economy to the economy today. Michael says this: just before the crisis, 95 million Americans were not in the labor force, but now that number is up to more than 100 million. Why didn't Jerome Powell mention that today? Why didn't he mention that there's 100 million, over 100 million people in America right now today not in the labor force? Does that sound healthy to you? Does that sound like a healthy economy or rebounding economy? Sure doesn't to me. If honest numbers were being used, the current employment rate would be 25%. Shadowstats.com, John Williams. We just went from $23 trillion in debt before the crisis to $28.4 trillion in debt. The Fed's balance sheet was $4 trillion before the crisis. Now it is over $8 trillion. This July, the Fed, just this month of July, the Fed has already added $162 billion to its balance sheet. But I thought things were so good. As I said earlier, the balance sheet's going to 9 trillion, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to 10 trillion. It may go to 12 trillion. All this monetary stimulus is keeping this economy propped up. This expanding balance sheet that we see at the Federal Reserve is the driving force behind the stock market. Again, it's training wheels, it's smoke and mirrors, it's extend and pretend. It's all an illusion. It's all fake, okay? You take the training wheels off of this economy and off, which is already failing, it's already crashing. You take the training wheels off the stock market and you've got a full-blown collapse unlike you've ever seen, but it's coming. The longer they put this off, the worse it's going to be. The Fed balance sheet in August 2008 was $898 billion. In January of 2015, the Fed's balance sheet was $4.5 trillion. Today, as I make this video, July, 2021, the Fed's balance sheet is exceeding $8 trillion. But see, people out there that just play video games and gamble in cryptocurrencies with their little Robinhood accounts, and they have $1,000 in their account, and they're gambling while they watch cartoons and pick up a government check. These people don't understand what that means, okay? What that means is they are creating so much debt and printing so much money, and this is doing so much damage to your purchasing power, to your currency, and to your future, and to the future of your kids. These people don't understand that. They just live for today like it's a game. And ladies and gentlemen, this isn't a game, because you got to think, where are you going to be next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Where are your kids going to be? What kind of life are you going to have 10 years from now? If you're not preparing right now, you're going to get annihilated. Over the last year and a half, the Fed has added more than $4 trillion to its debt load. So how does the Fed get out of this mess, ladies and gentlemen? It couldn't do it in 2008. How does it do it now? It's much, much worse. There are no exits. Monetization, normalization is a fantasy. It is a complete fantasy. See, there's no going back, ladies and gentlemen. There's no going back. We are in uncharted waters. There is no going back to monetary normalization. And really, when you think about it, going as far back to 2008, there wasn't any monetary normalization back then. We were printing a lot of money, creating a lot of debt, and here we are now, doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down, putting more Band-Aids on the gunshot wounds, and it is not working. And we have now created a raging monster, one that we are not going to get control of. This collapse, this depression is going to be horrific. If Jerome Powell came out today and talked about the Fed starting to taper, these markets would crash instantly. They raised rates by a half a percentage point, 50 basis points. These markets crash. You understand that, right? And there are not going to be enough exits for people to get out of these markets. There will not be enough exits for people to get out of these Ponzi scheme cryptos. At the end of the day, it's going to be about what you're holding, what you can access, what you have in your hands, what's in your safe, what's under the mattress. Not what you have in your bank, because you don't know if there's going to be a bank run, bank bail-ins. There's just a lot of real strange stuff happening in the banking industry now. We don't really know how safe and how solvent banks are. We remember it wasn't that long ago at the repo markets, banks wouldn't lend to one another. Why is that? And here we are today. Look, we saw digital bank runs take place in 2008. What do you think we're going to see when this next one comes? It's going to be a lot worse. We're going to see electric digital bank runs unlike we have ever seen before. Problem is, a lot of people are going to be late to the party, and they're not going to be able to get their money out of the banks. You will not be able to access your money. What if things get so bad that they limit the amount you can get out of your bank account or out of that ATM? Things can happen, ladies and gentlemen. Things can happen. It's happening all over the world right now. And I think America has created so much debt and has been living on a credit card for so long that I believe the collapse here in America will be worse than most places in the world. So before I go, I want to share one last article. Digital days, 73% of adults can't imagine going a full day without looking at a screen. So computers, phones, things like that. People are so addicted to their phones, so addicted to their computers. I'm sure when you're out walking, I mean, even here at the resort, there's just zombies, with their heads down on the phone. They can't get away from it. There are people just so addicted to their phones that, this is why people walk off of cliffs and walk in front of trains, in front of buses and die, because they're just so hypnotized by their phones, by their computers. And we got to start detaching a little bit from that, and we got to come back to the real world, because I think that's going to be another problem, is when people come to a point, like, let's just say the grid goes down. Let's just say there's a massive ransomware attack, whatever, and you can't access your computer. Well, that's going to be bad, because you're not going to be able to access your money. But people are going to have such a withdrawal that I've seen people get so angry when they cannot get their phone to work, when they not get on the internet. And look, I'm guilty myself, okay? But there are people so addicted to it. And you think, like, if there's a food shortage in America, the type of withdrawals we're going to see. If there's a pharmaceutical shortage in America, people can't get their medicine. People on with anxiety and depression, they're going to have to deal with it naturally. They're going to have to come to a point where they're going to have to deal with their anxiety and their depression naturally, not reliant on a drug. People are going to have to deal with reality. And so just like if your phone's unplugged or your computer's unplugged, people are going to have to at some point deal with reality. And people, I think, are going to get very angry and possibly very violent when that day comes, that they don't have food, that they don't have internet service, that they don't have their pharmaceuticals. And of course, they're going to be very, very angry if they don't have their pensions and they don't have a paycheck and their kids aren't eating and they're losing their homes to the banks. Their pensions have been wiped out. And again, when that happens, it's too late to play the blame game. It's too late to point fingers. The only person you're going to blame is yourself, because you have time right now to prepare. You need to hedge your bets. You need to be holding assets. You need to be holding a cash reserve. And as I've said before, it's already too late for millions of people. The people that are out of work, whose unemployment's run out, the people that went out and bought new cars and big screen TVs and squandered their money when they were making more money sitting at home than going to work. What did they do? They just squandered their money, wasted it. Didn't buy any emergency food, didn't buy any canned food, didn't buy security, didn't put some of that cash away. They did nothing except spend. And they made countries in Asia much wealthier. And we're becoming much more dependent on those countries now. You know, when I walk through a place like this, the JW Marriott in Palm Desert, California, by the way, a beautiful, beautiful property. And, you know, if you have the ability, if you have the means to come to a place like this, by all means, do so. You won't regret it. It's an absolutely stunning place. But, you know, when I walk through a place like this on a Wednesday afternoon, I think to myself, how many of these people really know what's going on? How many of these people really follow intricately what is happening in these markets, the lies and deceptions that the Fed is telling all of us? Most of these people, you know, they just look at their 401k, they look at their retirement, they look at their Roth IRA, and they just think, oh, it just keeps going up every month. Oh, it's going to be fine. Nothing to worry about. It's going to be fine. So I'm going to the Marriott and I'm going to put it on my credit card. Not everybody. There's people here with some dough. There's no doubt about that. There's a few people here with some bucks. Don't get me wrong, and they can afford it. But there's a lot of people. The majority of people here, I promise you, I guarantee it. These people are the same people who are in the comments down below that say, I don't have enough money to buy assets. I don't have any money to buy gold. I don't have any money to buy silver. But they always have enough money to come out to the JW Marriott on a Wednesday afternoon. They always have enough money to do a weekend at the Venetian or the Bellagio or the Wynn in Vegas. It's amazing that the people that always say they don't have any money always find a way to have money to party and to vacation, but they never find a way to make the sacrifice. How many of these people at the pool today really know what's coming? Some of these people have families, kids. Are they prepared? Do they have security? Probably not. Do they have cash reserves? Do they own real assets? Probably not. Most people here, even though this is probably $300 a night, maybe more, most of these people have a negative net worth, meaning that if they died today, they would owe money. Yet, they party like big shots, ladies and gentlemen. They got the $350 room. They're drinking a Mai Tai or a margarita at the pool right now, $15, maybe $20 now. They're ordering the $15, $20 cheeseburger. Life is good. Life is good. These people have no idea what is coming tomorrow. These people, most of them, not all. There may be a few people here prepared. Might be a few people here that know how to operate. Might be a few people here that own some gold and silver, own some land. But a majority of these people own nothing but debt, okay? And these are the same people, unfortunately, that you're gonna see on social media showing you their $20 Mai Tai, their $20 hamburger, them splashing around in the pool. And look, I'm not against a good time, okay? I think that's great, but right now, it's not about being at a party. It's not about the good times. And I don't mean to be pessimistic. I'm optimistic. And what I mean by being optimistic is there's going to be opportunity coming. And if you cut this stuff out right now, if you're making the sacrifices right now and putting away for a rainy day, if you're putting away for this emergency, you're going to flourish. You're going to prosper. And I'm optimistic about that. I'm going to, like Aaron. And by the way, Aaron is getting a lot of views and a lot of subscribers. And he thanked me today for mentioning his channel. I'm going to mention it again. Texas Silver. Aaron Early, our good friend in law enforcement, upholding the Constitution. Go to his channel, join it. He's talking about a lot of things, about preparations. Texas Silver, check it out. I'm glad to see his channel really growing, and I think he's going to do fantastic. So thanks for checking that out. But again, going back to this, these people, they're not thinking like the Aaron Earlys. They're thinking about right now, today, partying today. What can they get today? What can they run up on the credit card today? What will their debt buy them today? They just want a good time. It's all about living for today. They're not looking at tomorrow. People like Aaron, like the Aarons out there, who, saved his money, worked hard, cut some things out of his life. When that crash happened, by 2010, he bought a ranch. So, I'm going to take a page out of Aaron's book, and I'm making the sacrifices right now, and I'm saving up my money. I'm buying assets. I'm putting cash away. I've got all my bills paid off. And to be optimistic, I'm going to buy a nice property. Maybe I'll buy a couple nice properties. I'm going to buy some nice things. I'm going to jump into the stock market and buy when there's blood on the streets, when stocks are hemorrhaging, okay? When they're half off or more. That's when I'm going to jump into these markets. That's when I'm going to scoop it up, just like I'm going to scoop up real estate. I missed out, and I've told all of you, I missed out in 08. When those sales hit the market in 2010, 11, 12, was not ready, okay? I thought a lot like these people here. I thought like these people. Closed-minded, it's going to blow over. Maybe it'll last 6 months, maybe a year most. It's not going to change my life. Let me tell you, 08 changed a lot of people's lives, wiped out a lot of people. How would you like to be 70, 75, 65, and have your 401k wiped out, all your investments, your stock portfolio wiped out? Oh yeah, JB, it always comes back. Well, yeah, but when you're 65, 70, 75, you don't have time for it to come back. And how do you know it's going to come back this time around as fast as it did last time? This one is way worse. The debt is incredibly, monumentally larger than what it was. We have more bubbles than we've ever had before. This makes 2008 look like a Sunday school class, okay? We're not going to get over this one in a few years, okay? It's going to be at least a decade or more. I think that we're going to see something that rivals the Great Depression. These people right here, 99% of them are not ready for a Great Depression. They have no idea what a Great Depression is. They have no idea. You guys, though, you know what I'm saying. And I'm here to reinforce that all of you stay on the path. Don't get complacent. Yeah, people are out there spending money. Most of them spending money on credit cards, stimulus checks, unemployment checks. You know, a lot of things we're seeing out there are so fake. And there's a lot of fake people out there living a fake life. This is the time to get very, very real. Fake people are going to get destroyed in this collapse. Real people, awake people, people who have prepared, people who are patient are going to capitalize. And so I'm very optimistic. I'm not going to be pessimistic about it. I feel bad that people are ignoring the warning, not just from me, but from people much, much smarter and much wealthier than myself telling you what's coming. But everybody has free will. That's a decision you have to make. And for me, I'm just a guy with a microphone and a camera thinking out loud, telling you what I'm doing. Comment down below. Let me know what you think, what you're doing. Are things just going to get better? They're going to rebound? Everything's going to go back to some sort of normal? Or are we going to see a horrific economic crash in America? Comment down below. Let me know.